This is a CBSN Pittsburgh special presentation.
We are with Leslie Davis, who coming up on Sunday will become the CEO of UPMC. And Leslie, first off, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
I think the question that I have heard in this newsroom, and I've heard from people since this announcement came out overnight, is, wait a minute, effective Sunday, why so suddenly? Is Jeffrey Romoff sick? Is there something going on? Why is this happening so quickly?
Well, before we get started, I thought it may be helpful just for you to get to know me for a couple of minutes. I came to Pittsburgh 17 years ago with my husband and my 3 children after leading health systems in New York, in Philadelphia, and in Boston. We moved to Pittsburgh, and we've made Pittsburgh our home. We love it here. And I came for the opportunity to transform McGee from what it was as a single specialty hospital, I think you may have interviewed me at that time, to a full service hospital for men and for women, without mucking up the greatness of the women's health. And so that's been just a fantastic time. You know, I'm just delighted to be here, and also hopefully have some time to review the priorities as well for UPMC going forward.
You know, one of the things that we have seen in recent years is, Jeffrey Romoff has a huge personality, and he has been very big on a global positioning of UPMC worldwide. Is your focus going to be more centered back here closer to home, or are you going to continue that worldwide focus?
So in terms of the priorities for UPMC, you led right into my answer, and that is on all cylinders. And that's really what UPMC is. So firstly, we're going to focus on everything that has to do with our patients, the entire patient experience, as well as the quality of the patient experience and how patients feel when they enter any of our hospitals, whether they're our domestic hospitals or our international hospitals. The other thing that's really important to UPMC are its employees. And coming out of this pandemic, and you know all of the work that we've been able to do, taking care of COVID-19 patients, taking care of vaccinations and so forth, our employees are exhausted. And healthcare employees are exhausted all over the country. And so we'll be doubling down on our employees, both domestically and internationally. And then, of course, our communities. And that sort of gets to the heart of your question. All of these communities continue to be important to us. I had the opportunity to integrate with North Central Pennsylvania, with Harrisburg, with Western Maryland, we have a hospital now in New York. And so we will continue to focus on these great communities, these great hospitals, as well as the marvelous care that we offer in Italy, in Ireland, and in China. So these are all part of our plans going forward. And UPMC just has a great trajectory. The other thing I would just also want to add, just our science, our technology, and our innovation. That really remains our DNA here.
Let's talk about your employees for a second, because as I understand it, there are a lot of nurses especially who have left UPMC for higher wages in other facilities not that terribly far away. Does UPMC have any plan to address the issue of employee compensation and to become more competitive with other entities not that far away?
Yeah, well, we are very competitive in general with our salaries. If you may remember, we were the first institution to commit to $15 an hour for some of our lower paid healthcare workers. In terms of nurses, there's just a national shortage right now of nurses. And so what you're seeing is nurses joining agencies that support many hospitals, nurses jumping from one hospital to another, and then fortunately they tend to return to us as well. But what we really think, although compensation is incredibly important and we're committed to remaining competitive, it's about the culture that we create in our hospitals in our outpatient facilities, in our practices, and so that people really want to be and stay at UPMC. And that's really what our goal is.
Will there be changes in that respect?
Well, I think what I'm saying is we continue to work on that and make it better. And so I'm looking forward to circling back with you at a future time and sharing some more things that we're doing. But again, this is all part of this overall UPMC experience, whether it's the patient or the employee.
Are you concerned about the SEIU push to unionize your employees?
We pay our employees very competitively. We treat our employees very well. Our employees are very satisfied working at UPMC. So we hope to maintain the direct relationship with our employees in the future.
A few years ago, I remember talking with you at a press conference where you all announced the other hospitals that were going to be built, and we've certainly seen a lot of work going on next to Mercy. I know that was a big plan. What's happened to that? Where are we as far as the expansion? Because I'm told the hospital at Shadyside has kind of been put on the shelf.
We're moving forward with all of these new replacement towers. That was the big bang, if you remember my $2 billion. And so as you've noticed, the Vision and Rehab Hospital is coming up. It is out of the ground, and that's about another year. COVID, unfortunately, slowed some of this down. There just weren't enough construction workers to be on all of these sites in a safe way. But we've resumed the planning for both the Shadyside Tower and for the Presbyterian Heart and Transplant Center. And we'll have more exciting information on that in the months to come. Very, very bullish on that.
So there's still to come, just don't have the timeline now.
No, we have the timeline. It's in about 5 years. We'll have both of those second two towers up and running.
One of the things that has certainly garnered a lot of headlines in recent years, and it kind of has been satisfied to a certain degree, is the relationship locally with AHN and Highmark. How do you view that moving forward as far as an integration so that patients in town have access to the best medical care wherever it might be?
Yeah, those issues are behind us now, and we take all insurances. And so Highmark patients are welcome at UPMC facilities, as are the other nationals and our own insurance products. And that's really a story of the past.
What about the relationship with the city of Pittsburgh and the idea of payments in lieu of taxes? Is there wiggle room there? Is there anything UPMC can do to contribute more?
Yeah, well, we are very committed to the city of Pittsburgh. I am personally, UPMC is. We do many wonderful things for the city. We embrace the city. As a matter of fact, we just broke ground. We had a ribbon cutting for a new homeless shelter next to UPMC Mercy, and we're doing that cooperatively with other business leaders throughout the city. So there is always opportunity to do things better and do things more collaboratively, and we're very excited about the future of the city.
Today's release, it points out that Leslie has also been an important part of UPMC's longtime commitment to serving the disadvantaged. Can you talk a little bit about that as far as your commitment personally and as UPMC to taking care of those who are in need in our town?
Yeah, I mean, it's really important. There are so many people that just don't have the things that we have. We go home and we have families, most of us, and we have a place to live. And so UPMC has given something like $1.3 billion in charitable IRS-defined contributions last year. Something like $6 billion over the last 5 years. We're a tremendous contributor to that kind of work. We also care very much about our patients who are more compromised. And again, COVID was a perfect opportunity to show our mettle in that regard. We were able to have vaccine distribution in many of the underserved neighborhoods, whether they were in Pittsburgh or in Erie or in central Pennsylvania. We had staff who were volunteering on their own time to work on weekends in these vaccination clinics. And we will continue to do this kind of work. This is what we are as a healthcare organization.
Last question, John.
Okay, how is the personality of UPMC going to change with the change at the top?
Well, as I said earlier, I have been a healthcare executive for 30 years. I've worked in many, many markets. I've led teams of people, and I am thrilled, just thrilled to have the opportunity to lead this fantastic organization into its next chapter. There'll be lots of great things that you will be hearing about, and I look forward to circling back with you and telling you more about what we'll be doing in the future.
Leslie, appreciate your time this morning, and good luck with the new job. You don't have much time to get ready for it. It starts on Sunday.
Thanks very much. I'm ready. Good seeing you.
This has been a CBSN Pittsburgh special presentation. We now return to our scheduled programming in progress.